Have you ever felt like anger controls you more than you control it? Like a fire that flares up too quickly, consuming peace, destroying relationships, and leaving you empty and ashamed afterward. You're not alone. But there's a word from the Lord today that can cut straight to the heart and lead us to healing. Let's read together from James 1:19-20. So then, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man does not produce the righteousness of God. James doesn't speak this like a man writing a letter from a distance. He speaks like a pastor, a shepherd who deeply cares for the health of the soul. And he begins with love. My beloved brethren. That's not a throwaway phrase. He's reminding us that correction comes from love, not condemnation. Anger feels justified when we've been wronged. It rises quickly when we're misunderstood, when we feel threatened, when injustice knocks at the door. But James calls us not to the fast reaction, not to the sharp tongue, not to the boiling blood, but to pause. Let every man be swift to hear. That's not passive listening. That's the kind of listening that leans in, seeks understanding before seeking to be understood. It's an act of humility. To be quick to listen is to lay down your pride long enough to let someone else's words find a place in your heart. Then, slow to speak. In a world where everyone wants to talk, tweet, and text first, God says, wait, hold your words, think deeply, because words can build bridges or burn them down. And then the hardest part, slow to wrath. Not never angry. Even Jesus overturned tables in the temple. But our human wrath, our hot-headed, ego-driven, pride-filled anger, does not produce the righteousness of God. It doesn't reflect His holiness. It reflects our flesh, and it leads to ruin. So if you're always angry, if irritation is your daily companion, if frustration drives your relationships, if bitterness has become your default, hear this. God's not calling you to be less emotional. He's calling you to be more like Christ, slow to speak, slow to wrath, quick to hear. This is not about behavior modification. This is about transformation. A heart yielded to the Spirit begins to produce the fruits of peace, gentleness, self-control. Not because you try harder, but because you surrender deeper. You're not a slave to your anger. In Christ, you're free. Free to listen, free to speak life, free to let go of wrath. Because the righteousness of God is not born from rage, but from surrender.